Morning, everyone. Actually got a bit of sleep last night. Probably got to sleep about 11, which isn't ideal, but it's pretty good for me. And I slept through until the alarm went off this morning at about 4:45. Oh, that was a big yawn. Sorry. Still thinking about that meteor shower or whatever it was last night. That was so cool. I've never ever seen anything like that in my life before, and it was just so cool to see it. The fact that it only happened for sort of like 10 or 15 seconds, probably, and I just happened to be looking out at the tent. Chances. Really cool. Lot of condensation this morning. Tent's really wet. First time for ages. So I'll have to remember about that today at some point. Either dry it out at lunchtime or make sure I get somewhere tonight and get it put up in decent time to dry out. But I have a problem in the fact that I don't have any coffee. I only had enough to get me to Shelter Cove, and I assumed I would be able to buy some more at Shelter Cove, and it was one of the few things that they'd actually sold out of. So all I've got is caffeine-free green tea bags, which actually doesn't sound too bad right now. So I think I'll have one of those. Sorry. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with that. Well, this is just really eerie and atmospheric. This mist and fog in this burn zone is, I'd even go so far as to say it's a little unsettling. I keep expecting some goblins or some uruk-hai or something to jump out from behind a tree. It's very otherworldly. Well, some good news this morning. Another landmark for me personally. I've just checked my YouTube dashboard and it's showing I've hit 6,002 subscribers. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone out there that's contributed to that. It's pretty staggering to me. I know in YouTube land it's not very amazing, but from my point of view, that's just unbelievable. So thank you to everyone that's helped me get here to this point and been with me for a while. Thanks for putting up with me. And then a big thank you to everyone that's joined recently. Hope you're enjoying some of the content. Whoa, this looks like a bomb has gone off. If I can just stop panting for a second, you might be able to hear just how kind of silent and eerie it is. So I hesitated back there because I saw some prints in the sand on the trail, and I wasn't sure if they were one of our big furry four-legged friends or not. It's definitely some type of animal, but I don't think they're bear prints. Although, no, it looks like it's possibly two deer, and one deer's walking in some of the other deer's footprints, making it look a bit strange. Well, this is what people meant by the whole place was just utterly destroyed. It reminds me of when you see photographs from World War I of the battlefields there, just utter carnage and destruction, and just like a wasteland. This must have been so hot, there's just ash covering everything on the ground. I tell you, a real photographer would have an absolute field day here this morning. There are just stunning shots everywhere you look. Just like, it's unbelievable. I could probably spend all morning here taking photographs and video. It's pretty cold, and it's just kind of drizzling a bit in the wind as well, so I'm definitely not going to hang around. Just going back to yesterday's video and a comment that that I answered on yesterday's video. I kind of half answered it. It was a comment from Gus saying that the hiking club was interested in my camera gear, and did I have any training or qualifications or experience. The answer to that one is no, nothing whatsoever. I just see something, and if I like the look of it, I take a picture or some video. I guess I'm just lucky, or I think a lot of times when you're in some places, it's difficult not to take a good photograph. And obviously, Instagram can make things look quite cool sometimes. So it's not all down to me, but I appreciate the compliment. It's very nice of you. But no, I've never had any sort of instruction. Everything has been kind of learned and self-taught. I used to carry a big digital SLR camera when I was hiking, and I could never ever quite get to grips with it. I did the complete horrible thing you shouldn't do, and I just had it on automatic most of the time. After I had a few accidents with it, it went in a river a couple of times when I fell over, and then I dropped it once as well and bashed the lens, and it was a pretty expensive lens as well. I decided that big cameras weren't for me anymore, so that's one of the reasons why I treated myself to this smartphone. It's an S25 Ultra from Samsung. The camera, for one, is pretty good, if not very good. I mean, unless you start pixel peeping and really pulling images apart, which I don't do, it's definitely good enough for what I want. And then the processing power of it as well for editing videos and things like that. It's got a pretty meaty insides to it, for want of a better expression. So I'm really, really pleased with it. I'm really pleased with the results the camera's getting as well. And then the video camera, again, that is all self-taught. and learnt from different tips and instructional videos on YouTube from different people. There's all sorts of videos out there telling you what settings you should be using, and that I honestly don't think there's any right setting. There's just the setting that works for you and what you think looks best. And it's not going to come out on the camera, but can you see all the droplets of moisture on this bare tree? That's really cool. It almost looks like a naked Christmas tree with like little water baubles on it. But yeah, pictures like this, for instance, where you've got the living plant and then all the destruction from the fire behind it. In fact, I'm going to take a picture of that. I quite like that. So yeah, all self-taught and all self-learned. But as I say, I do appreciate the compliment. Thank you very much. Well, this has been a really strange morning so far. We've now got the sun trying to poke out from behind the clouds there. And all of a sudden, all the mist and fog in my area has just completely cleared. And now you can see the extent of the burn area. And you can also see the mist and fog drifting to the right of the screen down there, which is the way I'm headed. But I don't mind. I think it looks like it's going to be clearing up. I think I did manage to check the forecast this morning, actually. How reliable it'll be, I don't know, but about a 17% chance of rain today. Tomorrow, Friday, I think it said about 9%, and it looks like it's going to be pretty wet on Saturday. 91% chance of rain on Saturday. So I need to get myself in gear and get towards Bend. I'll get as close to Bend as I can and leave myself with as little to do on Saturday as possible. That'd be a perfect scenario. One of the old style PCT markers. There's quite a few in Oregon, I think. This is Brahma Lake. Brahma. I think it's like mile 1936 or something like that, possibly. And it is really pretty, actually. Just the last couple of miles I've come through, just been mosquitoes everywhere. That's all you could hear at the side of the trail. They seem, for some unknown reason, to be absent here. Don't know why that is, but it's quite nice. A lot of jays though. It's about 9:30ish. I'm just past mile 1937. A place called Jezebel Lake. Got me wondering if there's maybe a floozy lake somewhere around here as well. Jezebel Lake. Anyway, a big thank you to Tony M from Oregon. Just got your message and your support. Thank you very much. It's nice to hear that you're enjoying the videos, and it's nice to hear that they've got you watching other people's as well, which is cool. It's nice to get different perspectives of the same trail, of different trails. So I'm glad you're enjoying them.
found something to watch, and I hope you enjoy your hike of the Timberline Trail. I've hardly filmed for ages. It seems that way anyway. It's about 12:30 at the moment, and I've just been checking. I've done 20 miles since I started at about 10 to 6. The walking has just been what I would term ridiculously easy. There's been hardly any upwards elevation change at all. I mean, it's been negligible. I think in the 20 miles there's been something silly like 1,500 feet of elevation change going up. That is absolutely nothing. It's just been like so flat and easy. And funnily enough, that's the stuff that I generally struggle with as well. It really tires my legs out. I much prefer give me a gradual incline over that any day. But at least I've got 20 miles done by 12:30, which is pretty awesome. Haven't filmed because basically it's literally just been a forest, and even though it's been really picturesque and nice, it's nothing I've not shown you before. So there was nothing really remarkable or really nice that caught my eye. It was a pleasant walk, but I thought I would save a bit of battery on the camera. So 12:30, kind of start thinking about some food maybe shortly. There's a few lakes coming up. There's been so many lakes and ponds this morning in different areas. Must have been 20 at least, I would guess. 15 or 20, definitely. And then I think in might be about 7 or 8 miles, something like that, there'd be the junction if I was wanting to go to the Elk Lake Resort. There'd be the junction to get off the trail and head down to that. But I won't be going down there. There's no need whatsoever for me to go down there. So bypass that, just carry on towards Bend. Well, that was a nice lunch. Stopped at a trail junction, sat on a log. It was nice to have food to choose from again, rather than just having to eat what you had left because you've not bought enough. So yeah, there was some nice things in there. There's like fruit stick things that I got from the supermarket in Ashland. Not seen them anywhere else, and they were really nice actually. Some like teriyaki meat stick, Cheez-Its, although I've got to admit I prefer goldfish to Cheez-Its, but I just couldn't find goldfish. Yeah, I had a nice, I would say at least half-hour sit down. My feet were absolutely buzzing. Must have been close to 25 miles I'd done this morning by the time I got there. I've got my eye on a couple of campsites that are about 10 miles away from where I am now. Like I say, it's 3 p.m, so that would put me about, not going to be going crazy, put me about 6:30 p.m, probably somewhere there. Just have to take it as it comes. There are quite a few campsites in that area actually, so got a bit of choice. Sorry there was a yawn crept up on me then. Seen a few more people recently as well. About one of the 5 or 6 northbounders and maybe another 2 or 3 southbounders. Just time is 5 p.m. I'm just approaching the top of a big climb, mile 1958.8, I think. Oh. I've just climbed in about 4 miles, pretty much the same distance that I climbed, or the same ascent that I climbed this morning in about 20 miles. That's crazy. And I have a funny feeling I might have slept there in 2019. It's definitely slept on top of a mound of lava rock like this. Yes, this does seem extremely familiar. The trees are obviously a bit bigger. I'm pretty sure I had a view of a mountain somewhere. But yeah, that's well, would you believe it? So unfortunately there's some cool views through there, but they're hidden by the trees. In my usual fashion, I'm still walking. It's not late, it's only about 6 p.m, but I did intend to stop at that Sisters Mirror Lake. When I got there, I wasn't all that enamoured with the campsites, so I just decided to keep going. There's some more sights from there in about 4 miles time. Probably going to be about 3 miles from where I am now. And I believe there's at least one water source. So I will have to stay at one of these tent sites though, definitely, because they're right on the edge of the obsidian limited entry area, and you need a special permit to be able to camp in that area. The PCT one doesn't cover it. So if you've only got a PCT permit like me, you have to go through it in one go. It's not a really huge long section, but I don't want to have to go through it tonight. I'll save that for the morning. So there's definitely at least 2 more places where there's tent sites coming up before then. Oh, hopefully I can make it to one of those. So I've just come out of the forest onto this open area, and look at that. LeConte crater, apparently. You see where one side of it's all blown out. And you've got another peak sticking up behind it. I'm not sure if that's one of the sisters or not, possibly. It's quite an impressive sight though, isn't it? Rather large. Even more impressive after just seeing kind of like trees for the last day or so. Wow. Really cool. This huge wall of rock in front of me as well. Huge wall of volcanic rock, if you can see it. That is massive. I got a bit closer to that rock wall that I pointed out, and all of a sudden this place is 100% memorable, when I realised that last time I was walking the other direction. I remember the trail, I remember this whacking great. Just look at the size of that wall of rock. That is just absolutely insane. That's all deposits from the volcano. It's just immense. I remember seeing it and being like gobstruck by it last time, and seeing it, like walking up to it from a distance and seeing it get bigger and bigger as you grow closer. I just don't have words for that. It's just huge. And the camera probably isn't doing it any sort of justice at all. But when you think that's all rock all the way back up to the top of the mountain, just crazy. But aside from that, what a beautiful bit of trail, eh? This nice meandering path through these meadows, the sun shining over that side of us, over the top of the trees. It's gorgeous. Now, there's a couple behind me that I've just passed, and then looks like there's a couple in front of me as well. There's a 2-tent site coming up. Shortly after that, there's a 4-tent site. And then shortly after that, there's a couple apparently unmarked tent sites. So it's going to be interesting to see where these two in front of me are headed, or if I pass them and get to the tent site first. Whatever happens though, I do need water. Believe it or not, I'm going to get shouted at here, but when I left camp this morning I had 2.7 litres of water, and I've still got about 500 ml left. I haven't stopped for any water today at all. That's because I've not been sweating like a madman for a change. The walking's been mostly flat, with the exception of that last sort of 1,300 foot climb. And the temperature has been definitely cooler as well. I didn't drink anything at all for about the first probably 2 hours this morning when I was walking, because it was just so cold and damp. Just didn't feel like it. So yeah, I know I'll get some stick for that in the comments, but it's just the way it's worked out. I shall make sure to drink plenty when I get to camp tonight. Evening, everybody. Quick time check. It's 7:33, and as you can see, I am finished with walking for the day. The last little bit of the day was easily the most interesting for me. The whole day of forest, to be honest, kind of started to grate a little bit. Feet are hurting a little bit as well, which didn't help. But I'm camped at mile 1964.4, which puts me at a 37.4 mile day. So that is excellent news for my getting to Bend on Saturday. I don't have to do any more crazy big days. Leave myself about 10 miles or so on Saturday morning to get to Bend, and I'll be very happy with that. So that is going to involve me doing about a 30-mile day tomorrow, which I think it sounds as though Little Peak, who I met earlier in the trail, is just camped just down that way near the water. And I just saw when I went down there, she said there's a very nasty 22-mile water carry tomorrow. which I didn't know about that. So I'm sure that I'll have to have a look at that tonight and figure out how to tackle that and the problem. But between now and then, it is time to eat. I've got Cheez-Its, salt and vinegar almonds. I've got some dried fruit there. I've got some fruit snacks, which I really, really like. I know they're for children, but I don't care. Actually, looks like I've got too many meat sticks in there. I can have a meat stick as well. Wicked. And the old classic beef ramen. I do prefer the soy ones, they're my favourite, but it seems that they're everybody else's favourite as well, and they're never in any of the shops. So I certainly won't be doing shrimp flavoured ramen that I've seen in the stores. The chicken one or the beef one I usually go for if I can't get the soy. And I might even have something else as well, because I've got way too much food. I packed like 4.5 days worth of food, and I don't need it all. So it's time to get eating, I think. That is the view that I'm looking directly at now. The lump on the right hand side is the side of LeConte crater. Might make for an interesting night shot actually with the stars. If there's some out tonight, might look quite cool. Keep an eye out for any more meteor showers as well.